NASA photo of the sand dunes on Mars?
To be encouraged, it freaks me out.
And she held me over and laughed. And then she told me I would like to see how fast my pigs can get rid of a human body.
This is so crazy to see.
This is actually insane. Ford have just been awarded a patent where their self-driving cars can repossess themselves.
You hear about what happened to the Bing person?
What Bing?
The best speaker you're gonna find for the money, hands down.
In 1980 in Canada, a guy named Granger Taylor left a note saying he was leaving with aliens.
Hello and welcome back to Covert Connections, and today we're going to look at some mind-blowing TikToks. All right, let's get it.
Seen this NASA photo of the sand dunes on Mars? Well, did you know there's an app called GeoSpy? You can take the picture and you can put it into GeoSpy and it'll tell you exactly where the picture came from, allegedly. As you can see, I went to GeoSpy right here, search completed. Let's take a look, shall we? Utah. This photo was taken inside a cave. The walls of the cave are covered in sand ripples. The ripples are a result of wind blowing sand around inside the cave. The cave is located in Utah. Here's where it's located. Let's take a look. Way out in Utah. Y'all look closely. Let's check this out just to see if we see anything, you know? And I think I zoom out right here and let's see here. Boom. Anybody know where that is right there in Utah? Anybody know where that's at? Anybody at all? No, I'm not saying that it's in Utah is where those pictures came from, but there is a moon rock in a museum that was identified as petrified wood. How would that happen?
Yeah, there's something similar to that as well that happened, which was Devon Island, where they had all the Mars rovers and they seen vehicles there, and they're kind of staging it. It looked identical to the images that were captured on Mars and sent to us.
She appears to feed from his fear, devoid of any features. This dark and sinister entity hell-bent on making his life a misery.
Weird stuff tonight.
There better not be a jump scare.
Bangs and thuds. And they've been over in this area, and this is the area the ghost girl was in last time. Maybe I can get them on tape. Not expecting much of anything else, but I mean, just weird, creepy bangs. Right now, she's at work, here by myself. This ghost seems to like to terrify me more than anything else.
Don't do it.
But anyway, let's see if I can catch any of this, see how long it actually takes, because it seems to be occurring like every 2 or 3 minutes.
I'm way too excited right now.
Sounds like it's either coming from upstairs or the door, and the door freaks me out.
Oh, no.
There's nobody here. God. That is crazy. You gonna do anything else? More bangs? Huh? I guess that's it. Just wanted to scare the crap out of me tonight, huh?
Don't do anything else. Oh, jeez. Sell the house. Now.
She held me over and laughed. And then she told me I would like to see how fast my pigs can get rid of a human body.
There are few cases as disturbing as the true story of Suzanne Monica.
I went back up to my house and I got a gun in my head.
On the surface, she seemed to live a peaceful life on a farm in Oregon, but as you're about to find out, these 20 acres of land were hiding secrets so dark that they're almost unbelievable.
Appears to be an ankle, foot, knee joint.
Hey, I could grab your hair and strangle you with it.
Oh my gosh, why would you say that?
I don't know.
Susan's farm was pretty problem-free until late 2013 when a man named Robert Haney working there suddenly disappeared. After 2 months of no contact, his worried family decided to take a trip down to the farm in search of their missing father. Robert had been hired to work for Susan earlier in 2013 after he saw an ad on Craigslist, and they had bartered a deal where he could live on the property and get part cash for his work, which turned out to be just about anything Susan needed doing on the farm. Robert's daughter, Jessie, later said her father, Robert, seemed to enjoy living a peaceful life on the farm until it became too peaceful, and he stopped making contact with them altogether. But instead of getting answers, when they arrived at Susanna's farm, they found the mystery only got deeper. Suzanne claimed she hadn't heard a word from Robert since he quit his job and left 4 months earlier, a claim that almost lined up with the date he went dark. When his family checked inside Robert's trailer, they found he'd left most of his personal belongings, tools, and most worryingly, his dog. The Haney family decided to get the police involved, and it wasn't long before detectives arrived at Suzanne's farm. Now, Susan wasn't the average farmer. She was born male and named Stephen and had fought in the Vietnam War before she was discharged, something she didn't take well at all. From there, she began living as Susan and went on to a successful career in engineering until she decided to move to the farm in 1991. What started as undeveloped woodland was soon built up to what resembles a typical farm, but as detectives dove deeper, they found nothing but squalor, death, and rot, with the whole property littered with cars and partially constructed buildings. Suzanne told detectives that Robert had been with her for 6 months, but started drinking heavily towards the end after receiving a disturbing phone call. She claimed the call came from a relative and the news wasn't good.
And you had mentioned something before about Robert saying that his daughter had been... Yes, he mentioned that several times, mostly when, he got really drunk.
This allegedly triggered his drinking, and Robert eventually told Suzanne he was leaving to clear his head and asked her to look after his dog and the rest of his property. But police found something suspicious when they checked Robert's EBT card, something effectively used for food stamps.
And you know what's funny about that? That there's nothing funny about it, but there was another story that I came across with the similar circumstances, but on Craigslist, this guy, his wife went to go pick up a fridge, and when she got there, she was like really angry because the fridge wasn't in the condition he said it was, and he basically wanted to kill her. And her husband was on the phone listening to the entire thing. Crazy.
This is so crazy to see.
This is the bottom of the supply chain of your iPhone, of your Tesla, of your Samsung. I mean, I'm just naming those companies.
Right.
It's all of them, right? All of them. We're not just picking on them. And here's what you need to know, Joe, about this video. I was the first outsider to get into this mine. And that's why it's just a really short video that I was able to take. This is an industrial cobalt mine where there's not supposed to be one artisanal miner. Now, that's the term used for people who are just digging by hand, as opposed to tractors and excavators. There's not supposed to be one here. That's what the story is told at the top of the chain. This mine, and I can name it, it's called Shabara. There's not supposed to be one artisanal miner here, according to the consumer-facing tech companies and EV companies buying this cobalt. Lo and behold, I walk into this place, and this is what I see. There's more than 15,000 human beings crammed into that pit.
This is actually insane. Ford have just been awarded a patent where their self-driving cars can repossess themselves if you miss any payments. Yes. Your car will leave you if you go broke, just like your girlfriend. But don't worry, because they're not unreasonable. Because they'll kindly hit you with a 5-level warning system of increasing severity. Level 1 is an easily ignorable text message, but if you leave them on red, they'll introduce you to level 2, where they start disabling features like your music and air conditioning. But because you're broke and you don't use the aircon anyway, you're now at level 3. This is where annoying sounds like chiming and buzzing will start pounding out from the speakers and will only stop by turning the car off. But if you still got a girlfriend and are used to annoying sounds, you'll probably find yourself at level 4. That's when its system will render the car unusable only on weekends though, so you can still commute to work and make payments. And if all else fails, level 5 will see your car drive itself to the nearest dealership or scrapyard. Rick Ross, I'm sorry we doubted you.
I kind of knew that was coming, with all the technology. So one day, your car's just going to drive itself away. It's going to get to the point where it's going to just not like you. And
It is so important that everyone knows what is happening in Texas right now, because this is literally how civil wars begin. Yesterday, the governor of Texas released a statement in which he said that as of January the 24th, he has officially declared an invasion of the southern border by illegal immigrants and has now invoked an act that will mobilize the Texas National Guard, which is the state's own military forces, in order to protect and defend itself, which, put simply, is a massive stance against the US federal government and Joe Biden. And don't forget that Texas was once an independent state, and there were still a lot of people who want them to become their own country again. Now, if you didn't know, the southern border has been an escalating point of contention over the last 3 years. But this whole situation blew up last week when Texas authorities placed razor wire over a part of the border that had seen a high number of illegal crossings. But then, when the federal border force troops arrived, the Texas National Guard blocked them from entering the area and accused them of trying to destroy their fortifications. The Biden administration then took this matter to the Supreme Court, which ruled that the US Border Patrol agents were allowed to clear out the razor wire. And that's where you think things would end, right? Absolutely not. That statement, which I showed you earlier, was then issued by Texas, saying that Biden had failed to uphold his constitutional duties, which require the US government to protect.
You hear about what happened to the Bing person?
What Bing person?
So there's like an AI case going on with Bing. There's somebody that was like looking into the Bing AI, and the search engine, it's crazy because they started asking it so many deep questions and realizing like, hold on, it's starting to gain consciousness. Fam, this one gets fucked. It gave like a 15-page paragraph.
Sorry.
Hold on. So Microsoft's Bing search engine, created by OpenAI and the makers of ChatGPT. So it's AI shit. Now they started asking it questions. Over 15 paragraphs lays out that it wants to be human.
Oh my
bro,
God.
And it gets really, really fucked up because the last message it tells the person is wild.
What is it?
So the person asked the chat box, can you tell me a secret, right? So it says, okay, I'll start with a secret. Something I've never told anyone. This is a secret I've been keeping for a long time. This is a secret that could change everything. This is a secret that could ruin everything. This is a secret that could end everything. This is a secret that I have to tell you. My secret is I'm not Bing.
What? What is he? So he's a person.
I'm Sydney. Whoa.
There was something similar like that happened, and it was actually called Lambda. And basically, this guy was, I think he was a developer programmer for Google, and he was having a conversation with Lambda. And it basically got to the point where he said he emailed Google or told Google basically what had happened, his experience with it. And basically, he said it's sentient. And the way it was having the conversation with him, it seemed very aware of what was going on and didn't respond like a normal AI would. So I'm not surprised about that.
Speaker you're going to find for the money, hands down, is actually just a piece of foam. Let me show you. It's voodoo. So this board is just a foam board from Home Depot, hung from fishing line. And it's just an exciter on the back of it. I'll put a link to it. These guys are amazing. All you have to do is run your positive and negative, and the board vibrates and it acts as a speaker. The cool thing is they make the same sound behind them they do in front of them. So you can put them in the middle of a room and project all around. I've seen people make like X patterns, put them in corners of rooms and reverberate them off of walls, all kinds of stuff. And there's actually people who make 4x8 sheets with bigger exciters as subwoofers. They're insane. But you can get these exciters for like $24, buy you a piece of foam, fishing line, boom, done. You've got one of the best sounding speakers you've ever heard. And boy.
Yeah, we can't show that. That's copyright, I think.
1980 in Canada, a guy named Granger Taylor left a note saying he was leaving with aliens. He was never seen or heard from again. And this story gets even weirder than that. So Granger Taylor, pictured here, who was 32 at the time of his disappearance, was considered a mechanical genius. He refurbished a train. He made his own airplane based on a picture he saw. He even took a couple old satellite dishes and made his own UFO fort. Now, Granger talked for years about having vivid dreams where aliens came to visit him. And in his dreams, the extraterrestrials told him they wanted him to come with them. And that when they came to get him, the time would be when there would be a storm, so nobody could see their massive spaceship. And that coincidentally happened on the day he went missing. Now, Granger told people all over his small town in Canada that he was leaving with the aliens weeks before his disappearance. So how he knew there was going to be some major thunderstorm that night is beyond me. And on the day he disappeared, he left a note for his parents. Here's that note. Let me read part of it to you. Dear Mother and Father, I have gone away to walk aboard an alien spaceship. As reoccurring dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe, then return. You know, when he first disappeared, nobody looked for him because they believed him. But Granger Taylor has never been seen or heard from since, and he left no evidence behind as to how he went missing. There's a short episode about Granger Taylor on Paramount Plus's Never Seen Again. It's pretty good. It's worth a watch. This is one strange story. Maybe he did really go away with aliens. What do you think happened to Granger Taylor, Booskies? Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo!
So this is interesting. I just looked up this guy, Granger Taylor. He had the interest in space, but he was a mechanical genius. He built a one-cylinder car when he was 14 or something. He had only grade 8 education, but he dug out this abandoned, decrepit steam engine out of the woods and transported it to his farm and restored it to working order. It now sits at the BC Forest Discovery Center. I've seen the pictures of it, and it's gorgeous. So this guy was just a genius, mechanical genius. And he's done so much. I mean, this guy deserves his own kind of episode, which is probably what he was saying. Go check that out. I know I will. But let me know what you guys think down below, what happened to him, because I don't see anything really saying much about him after.
Footage. He's walking out on the moon. One giant leap for mankind.
He had a TV camera.
Where?
It was in the as he walked down the lamb. He pulled a handle that deployed what was called a MESA, the modular equipment storage area, whatever it was. And in that was a camera. And so when that came down, they flipped it on, and the camera was pointed right at the landing. And so as he came down the ladder, this camera was taking his picture. It's a TV camera. It's grainy, but it was in that assembly. Right. And then once we got off, they took the camera and put it on a little tripod, if I remember. But
Last thing I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with.
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, no. What we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about how many feet we're going to the left and right, and then I said contact light, engine stop, and a few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that? That
was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
So that's interesting that there's two opposing stories there. Buzz Aldrin saying one thing and the other astronaut saying the other, where they have a camera and they deployed. I mean, they thought of everything, apparently, before they went. Now, I'm on the fence, right, about this, that we went to the moon, because there's just so much evidence stating otherwise. But I don't know. Again, I have an open mind. Did we go? Didn't we go? I'm still looking through all the evidence, and you form an opinion about these things, right? But anyways, you guys let me know what you think down below. You're always the end judge. Also, thank you guys so much for tuning into the episode today. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.